Okay, so just in summary, what we did so far was decide on a constellation by either printing one out or drawing. And then what we did was position our picture where we like on our phone. And we taped it down to keep it secure. What we want to do next is grab this little plastic stick. And gently, you're going to go follow just the major dots. So what we're going to poke is, say, a tiny little hole in this star, like that, right? So it's not like a big thing, you know, just I'm making like a mark. I know it's hard to see, but there's only one little dot there. So I'm going to do that to all of the stars, just making a mark. We're not doing the lines, we're just marking where the stars are. And I'm just lifting up my work to see that all the marks that I put down were there. So let me just go back around again and make my holes a little bit bigger. I am poking through the paper so that the holes appear on the other side. This is what my work looks like right now. As you can see, I made little tiny holes just to mark. Yep. And when I lift up, I can kind of see where my holes are. It'll be better when you see it like on your own end. See, I can see where the stars are. And when you finish that, just let me know if my webcam will stay in place. That would be great. Okay, whatever. Good enough. Cool. So just gently remove the paper from the foam. Be careful with the tape, but you don't want to tear anything. And keep this on the side, you know, so you have a picture of what you're doing, because now we're gonna start with our white marker, marking like the lines and stuff. So while we wait for everybody, if you grab your marker, we can activate the pen. We'll give it a good shake. The cap on. And your tip should be yellow, but I'm grabbing this scrap piece of paper. First, I'm pushing the tip upwards. All right, and then a couple shakes, I'm pushing down until the paint starts to flow down, and you'll see it because the tip will go from yellow to white. Okay, so go ahead and activate your pen while we wait for everyone to finish with their holes. And it might be a good idea to grab a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, what you can do is just fold the paper in half and use that as a ruler. We're not doing any measurements or anything like that. All right, so I'm keeping this over here, so I have an eye. And I'm just going to look back to see that my holes are still very visible. Let me know when you guys finish your paint pen, that you got the paint to work. Great. What we're going to do is mark the lines. So if you want to just go like look at your picture, lift up again and see where the lines are, you can do that. And I'm using a straight edge to go from hole to hole. So let's see. Why is technology like this? Okay, there, perfect. So here is one hole and one hole over here. So what I'm doing is marking a line from here to here. So I'm just kind of making that line with my white marker. At first, it might look a little light. If your line looks a little light, just keep trying to push the paint out. And it should be nice and opaque. And that's my first line, just like that. And then what you're going to do is just keep following the lines based on what your constellation is. All right, so just follow the constellation pattern that you have, okay? Okay, Elena. All right, so I'm done with this, I think. So I'm just going to put this on the side. All right, that looks good. Okay, so now what you can do is here I kind of drew some tiny stars as my background. You can make like a crescent moon, or you could do a shooting star. You know, take some time to do that. If you want to leave it the way it is, that's fine. Okay, just let me know when you're ready to move on to the next step. I'm going to do a couple of stars. For the stars, you know, I start with like really tiny ones first, like that, you know, and then if I want bigger ones, I just, yeah, of course, self-explanatory, I think, but you know, that's how small you can get it and then how big it could get to. So if you want to add some variety, you can do that. We'll keep that in there for right now, but just gently unravel it. It should have like some loops over here. Just start from that loop thing. Just gently take it out. And it's like a wire, so you can straighten it out a bit. All right. Just be careful with it because it can be a little fragile, but you can definitely straighten it out. Just straighten it out real gentle. So unless anyone else needs a second, I'm going to move on. All right, so let me move my camera. All right, so as you can see here, what we're doing is putting the LED lights on where each of the holes are. So how do we do that without all the cables and stuff being a mess? Well, we hide it in the back. This is the mess. The good thing is that it can be easily taped down and shaped and things like that. And then when you're done, what you can do is just hide the mess on the wall. Or a friend of mine, what she did, she framed it and you weren't able to see the mess at all. Honestly, like you would never have believed it. You know, it's on a piece of foam, it's very lightweight. All right, so how I did it was start not by the battery pack, right? I started over on this end. So you're not starting on this end, you're starting with this end, okay? And let me switch my camera again. So you're gonna start, you're basically gonna put the lights in order, right? So you're not gonna just like move around anywhere. I'm saying this is gonna be my first spot, or you can start from down here or whatever. But I want you to think about where you wanna start and sort of like the path. So it's the neatest as it can be. And surprisingly, this is the neatest that it can be. So, you know, I started say like I started like here. So I made this little path like that. And so there's no wire showing. What I did was I flipped it around in the back, and I kind of made like these little U shapes with the fairy lights, right? So it kind of looks like a U. And I just gently just push it through the little hole I make, right? You know what? I'm actually going to start with the second one. It'll be a little bit easier. So I'm starting with the second one, making a little U shape, and I'm starting from behind, pushing it up front, just like that. And it's okay if a little bit of wire shows up. You're not going to see it too much, or it's not going to be really noticeable when you turn the lights off. And once I'm happy with that spot, you know, you can turn on the light and see if that looks good. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to secure it with a little bit of tape. So I'm using this duct tape, but I use Scotch tape on the other one. It'll be fine, whichever you use. I'm going to also shorten, because I'm not using this first bulb, just like that. And then I'm just going to cover it up, tape it over, just like that. So does everyone understand what I did? It looks a little bit chaotic, but I promise the final result's going to look really nice. And then, you know, so now I'm done with this one. So now my next spot is going to be on the second hole. So again, I'm making a little U shape with the bulb and sticking it through the second hole. If you find that a bulb doesn't reach the certain part of the constellation, you can always just skip it. You have plenty. I think you have like 30 bulbs on the string lights and everything. So every time I'm checking each, making sure I like the position of the bulb, and then I'm securing it again with some tape. See, I learned from the first time, you know, I didn't like how the Scotch tape looks, so I'm covering it with some black duct tape. Either way, it's not going to affect the project. Just make sure it's sticky. It's going to hold up the project. Okay, that's number 2. So I'm moving on to number 3 up here. Again, make a U. Carefully put it through the hole. Check the position. Yeah, that looks good. And I'll put it like that. Cover it up. So that's what we're going to do for the rest. So just keep going. Okay, if you want to turn on the lights to see how it looks, you can untape it, reposition, etc. Okay, so I'm like, okay, that looks good so far. And of course, if you need a wider hole, just go back with your stick and just poke it through a little bit bigger. All right, so next I'm gonna, okay, so so like in my case like this, I can either go this way or that way. So I think what I'm gonna do is go down here first, and then I'll go this way, and that way. I think that'll be a good idea. And any sort of like weird wires like this that kind of has extra space, I'm also taping that down, just so it's controlled. Yeah, that's good. Yep, like how that looks. Is everyone getting the hang of it? Okay. Not too bad, right? All right. And as I'm working, I'm just adjusting the wires, taping them down, just so that they're not in my way. Yeah, that's good. I said I was going to go this way. Yeah, so my one bulb isn't quite long enough to reach that way, so I have an option. I can skip the bulb, go to the next one, or I can see if there's like a different bulb that might be closer. I think that's I think I'm gonna skip the bulb. I have enough. Just so my wire managing looks a little nicer. It'll lay flatter. Yeah, looks good. And I'm just taking this big old mess, just kind of wrapping it around, make sure it lays flat. All right. Yep, looks good. I'm constantly flipping to make sure I get all of the holes I made, so I don't have to undo everything, go back later. Okay. Put that down. I love how flexible the wire is. Easy to hide stuff. Okay. Almost done. Still looks good. And I got 2 more. Yeah, so this one I have to adjust a bit. I didn't get the bulb quite through. Yeah, that'll do. Oh yeah, that's fine. All right, I think I'm on the last. Oh wait, I finished. Yep, I finished. Okay, so I'm just looking, make sure that I like where everything is placed. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. So I have some extra. What you can do is just, I take mine extra up. Maybe if you want, you can grab your stick again and add some pick out some stars that you want to add like a random LED to. So maybe I'll give it a try. So I'm getting my stick again and poking a hole in one of the stars I painted. Not quite long enough. Just gonna skip it. Try this one. Actually, I kind of like it. It looks nice. So if you have extra, you can be like, just pick out some random stars to light up. If you don't want to, just, that's fine. Just roll up the wire with the extra LEDs you're not using and just tape them up. Let's do. I don't want to do too many stars. I want the focus to still be the constellation, but whatever you guys want to do, that's fine. I think this would look really cool if you did like a shooting star. Could try that. How's everyone doing so far? So far, so good? Cool. Yeah, there's 2 I actually skipped here, so that's fine. I'm just gonna make sure I tape that down later. Taping this. Actually, I realize now that black tape is a really good idea. But even with when I used the clear tape, I didn't see the lights from the other side because the foam is it's good at blocking out that light. I think I'll add maybe one more random stuff up here. Okay. Or it'll fight me. Okay, there it goes. All right. I know it probably looks crazy in the back, but when you flip it over, you can never even tell. Yeah, that looks really cool. And I'm just making sure my wires are, you know, as flat as they can be. You know, things like that. If they are up, just try to push them down, or if you can tape them down. I think that'll do. So I still have like my battery pack. What you can do is a couple things. You can maybe just tape it down. I have had no issues taping it down as long as you have access to the on-off switch. Mine is like over here just because that's where it fit best, but I think I'm going to put mine on the bottom. If you have like Velcro at home, you can do that. If you just want to leave it as is, you can do that. It's fine. I think tape is fine. It works. And that's mine. Right? So if I ever want to move it, I can. If I want to turn it on and off, it's easy to get to. Right? And then what you can do to finish it off is you can, you know, hang it up, or if you want to be fancy, you can go out and get a frame and stick it in the frame. This is flat enough. I think it should be able to be framed. If not, you can just kind of snake it out or put a hole and get the light in the back. So I'm just getting a little bit of string here. And I'm just going to also tape that down. Tape is my best friend. All right. I think that's more or less the middle. I might have to play around with it, make sure it's like when I hang it up, it's like in the center and not like lopsided. I think that'll be okay. Right, I think it's a little lopsided. No biggie. All right, so if you guys are done, you can test it out. I'm gonna go test mine out and turn off the lights. All right, let's see. Nice. I think that came out really nice. How's it going on your end, everyone? Does it look okay? You still working? Up to you. I just want to know. Good. Awesome. Let me know if you test it out. Because that's pretty much it. So that's my one. And my other one over here, Orion. Yeah, I think it looks really cool, especially at night. LEDs are bright enough that even, as you could see, like when the lights were on, it showed up pretty well too. And now you got some bedroom decoration if you want to hang it up or, you know, give it give it to someone, makes a cool gift. All right. So that's the end of my lesson. Does anyone have any questions before I sign out? I'm gonna also post a video so you can follow along again if you have fun and want to remake it, or if you just want to catch up, you could do that, okay? But if not, we're done. All right. So thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you guys in future workshops, things like that. Thank you. Bye.